Hello everybody, my name is Brian Nichols and welcome to MMA Prospects Episode 1. This is featuring Alex Eazy Polizzi. A little bit about Alex. He is born in Beloit, Wisconsin, and he currently fights out of Madison, Wisconsin. This little pinpoint in Google Maps is Beloit, Wisconsin. He's currently 28 years old, so he's getting up to his prime. He's a Division I wrestler from Northwestern University, and he currently trains his MMA out of Chosen Few Gym in Wisconsin. I looked up Chosen Few Gym because I wasn't too familiar with them, and they had, I want to say, 2 fighters in PFL, so it's a good up-and-coming gym. He currently fights at light heavyweight, and he mentioned in an interview that his cut to light heavyweight is actually pretty easy because he walks around 214. So while that's good to hear, that means he may be a smaller light heavyweight when he gets up to the big leagues, if he does. He has a 5-0 professional record as of right now, and he has a 100% win finish. And to clarify, that means every fight that he's won, all 5 fights, he's obtained it via submission or a TKO or a KO victory. He has main event experience, and one of the things I like to keep track of, at least when I'm looking at prospects, is overall fight time, as well as if the fighters have at least gone to all 3 rounds, maybe to a decision, and won that decision, because there's some fighters that come through the ranks that only have like the 30-second knockouts or the minute knockouts, and then they get to the big leagues, and then they fight people that grind on them for all 3 rounds, and they just break. So it's good to see sometimes some of the prospects get tested way before they get to the big leagues. So that's one of the things I want to keep track of moving forward with my prospect video content. And so looking at Alex, his longest fight currently as it stands is round 2 at 3 minutes and 42 seconds of the round. So overall, of course, that's 8 minutes and 42 seconds in that fight, because you got to add the first round, so 5 plus the 3:42. And overall, his entire pro fight time is up to 26 minutes and 37 seconds. There was rumors that he could be on Contender Series in the future, so it'd be interesting to see if he could be on there. And as well as the regional rankings as per Tapology for light heavyweight. In Wisconsin, he's ranked number 1. In U.S. Midwest, he's currently number 13. And in the United States, he's ranked number 29. As for fights, again, he's only had 5 fights. And looking at the 5 fights here, he had 2 in 2018 within 2 months for those 2. And then the next 3 were all within 3 months of each other. And Alex was actually supposed to have a 6th fight, but I want to say, and it was going to take place in Canada, but I want to say the opponent of his either got sick or got injured, so he had to pull out, so that fight didn't happen. But as of right now, all 5 fights, and with all the information here, and we're going to dive a little deeper into the 3, 4, and 5 fights of his MMA career. All right, so going in order, I want to go over 3 fights of Alex's real quick. So first, let's go over fight number 3. This takes place on March 9th, 2019. The promotion is CFFC. Their event is 16, and it's Alex Polizzi versus Cedric Savage. This is a round 2 TKO for Alex with 3 minutes and 42 seconds of the round. And let's transition over to the video to describe to discuss that fight. All right. This is the 3rd MMA fight for Alex Polizzi. He is the one here in red shorts. This fight took place on March 9th, 2019. Again, it ends with a round 2 TKO for Alex at 3 minutes and 42 seconds of the round. And I wanted to go over quickly what occurs in this fight. I think I mentioned it previously, but basically round 1, all it contains is a lot of grinding up against the cage, a lot of cage work, a lot of clinch work as well. A little bit of strikes here and there, but nothing much. I can kind of scroll through it and you'll see they're basically on the cage the entire time, or getting pushed up to the cage, I guess. So this is pretty exhausting. Obviously, with Alex being a Division I wrestler, he's used to that grind. So I'm thinking, when I watched this fight for the first time, I was thinking I'm assuming Alex wouldn't gas out. I'm not sure about Cedric. They were saying on the broadcast that Cedric was a kickboxer, so I'm not how I didn't know how conditioned he would be to all this cage work and grinding, but you can see what occurs in the second round. That it shows you that Alex, I don't think was gassed at all with the grind of this. So again, they're kind of couple throws, then back to the cage. Alex goes for a takedown here, but it's just the end of the round, so nothing can really happen here. So that's it. So that's the end of round 1. Round 2 is completely different. Here's the beginning of round 2. Right from the get-go, Cedric, I'm thinking he's pretty tired from that first round because he goes for a takedown. Alex takes advantage of it. He uses his hips to stop the takedown, lands a couple ground and pound shots, and they scramble a little bit. He tries to go for a standing guillotine here, or crouching guillotine, but he's not able to land it. But he's able to spin around and actually scramble and get to Cedric's back. And from there, it's just all Alex's world. He actually flattens him out right. He almost had him. He flattens him out quite a few times. I want to say like 3 or 4 times, and it's rough. And he just grinds Cedric to the mat. He just lands some vicious elbows and punches, and so this goes on for a good 2-3 minutes of just Alex having his way with Cedric. Again, I'm just fast forwarding real quick highlights. And right about here is when the ref's going to finish it, because again, Cedric wasn't doing anything to get out of the position. Alex, every time Cedric would try to get his hips up a little bit, Alex would just push back down and just hold him down and throw more punches on him. So again, that's the 3rd fight for Alex. Let's move on to his 4th fight in his career. Okay, so fight number 4 for Alex. This takes place on June 28th, 2019. It is for the LFA promotion, their 70th event, and it's Alex Polizzi versus Pierre Walters. This is a round 1 TKO for Alex, and he wins in 3 minutes and 27 seconds of the very first round. And let's transition over to the video for that. Okay, here's the 4th fight for Alex Polizzi. He is up against Pierre Walters in this bout. It takes place on June 28th, 2019, and it is a round 1 TKO at 3 minutes and 27 seconds in the round for Alex Polizzi. So again, I'm not going to do any audio. I just want to show quick clips of how the fight goes down. This is at LFA 70, and they actually have replay highlights right on their video, on their YouTube video. So basically, the fight starts. Looks like Alex is able to get on a single, and he performs a high crotch, throws him over, and from there it looks like he stepped over into mount, and he just starts landing some hellacious elbows on Pierre, and it looks like Pierre just wasn't doing anything to get out of mount, and so the ref just had to call it. And that was the 4th fight for Alex. Yep, just flipped him over, just stepped right on over to mount. He was able to grind out the win. More elbows. Great work by Alex. Okay, let's move on to his latest pro fight, his 5th professional fight for Alex. Okay, this is Alex's 5th and latest fight on his MMA career. This took place on September 5th, 2019. The promotion was FFC 40, and it's Alex Polizzi versus Daniel Jolly. This is a round 1 TKO at 40 minutes and 32 seconds for Alex, almost the entire first round. And let's transition over to the video for that. All right, here's Alex's 5th pro MMA fight and his latest fight. This fight is taking place on September 5th, 2019. He is up against Daniel Jolly, and this is a round 1 TKO for Alex at 4 minutes and 32 seconds of the round, so almost the entire round. This fight is probably the fight that I've seen Alex have the most trouble, especially early. So I'm going to go, this was at FFC 40, and they have a video here with some highlights, and I'll start playing it now. But as you can see real quickly, is Alex actually has some trouble with the jab of Daniel Jolly. and Alex actually gets dropped from a leg kick as well as a jab right there, and he gets dropped. But you can see Alex turns it around and he actually times the jab of Daniel right here. Just, oh, let me rewind real quick. You can see it. He slips right under and goes for that trip takedown. Landed the takedown, was great. And then got right up on top and mount again. Started landing some elbows. Bam. And won the fight that way. So, you know, he got tested. He definitely got tested with the striking department. Alex himself, again, mentions that he needs to work on his striking. But you can see here he was able to time that jab. It just took him a little bit. Time went under and got the finish. So great work by Alex. All right, and I want to throw some information on here about Alex. So I threw on some interviews as well as his social media links. I went and watched this video interview just from last month, and I put the link in here. And again, if I haven't mentioned it before, I'll mention it now. All of the links, the social media links, the interviews, all of the fight matrix, as well as Tapology and all the other links of information that I've obtained on Alex. I'm going to throw that all down in the description of this video, and I'm going to do that for all of my content moving forward for all the up-and-coming fighters. So anyways, for the video interview here from last month, it was really good. I thought it was a really good interview. The interviewer wasn't all that great, but Alex is really good about answering a lot of the questions. Just from not knowing Alex and watching that video, he seems to be a really down-to-earth kind of guy. He was not specifically cracking jokes, but the interviewer was asking him about some kind of jokes, and it sounds like he's not, maybe not a goofball, but a light personality. He seems fun to be with if you get to know him more, of course. But what I really liked about Alex talking about MMA was, I like when some fighters are straightforward with things, especially when they have to analyze themselves, and you can see he knows what he has to work on. He specifically states that he has to work on his striking, so it's good to know that not only is he's comfortable to talk about it, but also knows, like, it confirms to us that that's something that he's working on. And one other thing he mentioned that I thought was interesting was the interviewer asked Alex what promotion he'd be interested in going to, you know, whether it be UFC, Bellator, and Alex actually mentioned he's interested in one championship because he likes how you aren't forced into having to market yourself for opportunities, whereas at the UFC you kind of have to get some of the bigger opportunities. I know he said UFC is the big one, so I'm assuming if the money is right and everything, he'd go to the UFC. But he is interested in one championship, so I'm interested to see where he goes when and if he goes up to the bigger shows. There's also a written interview a little bit earlier this year in March. That's for Cage Side Press. That was a good little read as well. And then again, here's his social media links, his Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll link those in the description. And that is my very first video of MMA Prospects, again featuring Alex Eazy Polizzi. Again, great guy, good up-and-comer. He uses his wrestling very well, and he's vicious when it comes to the ground and pound. So I'm interested to see how Alex's career goes. I know I'm going to be keeping tabs on it. And any questions or comments you have on the content, if whether you liked it, you disliked it, anything you'd like to change or see changed, let me know. I'm completely open. Obviously, this is only episode 1, so it's just going to hopefully get better from there. And so here's my video for the week. Should have another video next week as well. And other than that, have a good, safe week. I know it should be this upcoming week. There's a lot of MMA going on, and as well as we got New Year's. So have a great holiday, and talk to you guys next week. Thanks.